Hey everybody, I've seen a lot of notes and questions lately in some of the forums that I follow and Facebook pages that I belong to about cooking equipment while motocamping. So I wanted to break down the stuff that I carry and kind of how I've organized things, just to share those ideas with folks, and maybe people will get some benefit from that. Let's see. Okay, for starters, I wanted to show you how I've organized all my cooking and eating equipment and how I stow it and carry it on the bike. So first of all, I carry soft panniers, shameless plug for Moscow Moto, backcountry 35s. I have one pannier devoted to all my food and cooking equipment, another one for my clothing and my tools, and then backcountry 40-liter duffel that I use for all my other camping equipment, my sleeping bag and things of that nature. So I try to keep things organized because panniers, it just makes me crazy when I'm digging around and can't find things. So I finally lit on this idea of just bringing all my cooking equipment into one place, and I'm able to fit it all into this this one lunch bag. Lunchbox. It's a soft-sided zippered lunchbox. I'll break that open in a second. You can see from my hand kind of what the relative size is. It's probably 8 inches by 10 inches by maybe 3.5 inches deep. The one thing that won't fit in there is this coffee mug, and I'm going to spend some time at the end of this video talking a little bit more about that. Okay, I'm guessing some people will want to know the link to this. I got this on Amazon, so I will post that up later. It's just a simple lunchbox. The outside compartment, I put my manuals for my stoves. I carry 2 stoves. I'll show you that in 1 second. And the rest of it, as I open it up, you can see it kind of breaks out into 2 areas. So there's a mesh bag where I put all my smaller items, and I'll break that open in a second, and then a larger compartment where I put in my larger items. Okay, let's start with the stoves that I bring. I carry an MSR wind burner stove for just boiling water, and the majority of the time when I'm using rehydrated or dehydrated dinners, or just having breakfast, which is typically something like oatmeal or coffee, that's all I will open up and use. In fact, on many trips, this guy here is all that I use during the entire trip. It's basically the MSR version of a jet boil. I like it pretty well. It took a little while to kind of get used to lighting it. Had some things I had to learn, a little bit of a learning curve, but now I really enjoy it. It's very efficient on fuel because it just boils water so fast. And in fact, that's all I'm doing, and all I need is water. That's all I will use. Inevitably, I will also bring my MSR pocket rocket, and mostly just because it's just so tiny. There's no reason not to, and that will go with me. I've never taken a trip without it. If I was doing lightweight backpacking or something, I would be more selective, but I haven't had to. This adapter here is something that goes onto the MSR and will actually convert it to something that you can do pan cooking on, because that's the big deal with that kind of setup. Is typically it's just set up for boiling, but you can do pan cooking with this adapter. I haven't used it too much. If I'm going to do pan cooking, I'll use the pocket rocket. One other item that I will use that I always take with me, and actually I just unpacked it from within the MSR stove itself, is this French press. So this guy just screws into here. It breaks down in small pieces. It all packs up within that kit, and it converts your jet boil or your MSR wind burner into a French press. So just throw my coffee grounds in there, let it sit for a minute, use that. It works pretty well. I'm not the best French presser in the world, but it does give me better coffee than instant, and I just don't like instant coffee. This is just matches. I tend to bring these windproof and waterproof matches because even in a heavy wind, they'll light, right? So I never have any worry about can I use the matches. There is a piezo lighter on the stove. It doesn't work with the dams. I don't trust it, so I always bring matches. So that's that aisle there. This over here is all of my eating implements. So I've got the Sea to Summit eating kit. So it breaks down into a pot and pan with a cover, a large bowl, and a cup as well. You'll see in a second that I don't really use the cup too often, but I do bring it with me. And then over here, which I put in the zipper compartment at the top, I've got just some very lightweight nylon utensils, full size, and then of course the longer utensil that I use when I've got rehydrated food, because it reaches down really nicely into the bottom of those pouches. So for stirring or eating those, it works really well. In this little guy here, I bring just some miscellaneous odds and ends. I've got toothpicks, trash bags, baggies, a little bit of aluminum foil, just miscellaneous stuff I think I might need. I do bring a cutting board. I almost never use it because I don't really do, fresh vegetables or meat the way I probably should, but that's there. I keep these 2 containers in the kit for sauces, condiments, that sort of thing. I haven't really started using that too much. I just got those. We'll see whether I'll continue to bring them, but they're lightweight, don't really take up too much room. And then finally, just some camp suds and a small piece of cleaning sponge that I've chopped into literally about a 2-inch by 1-inch piece, and that's plenty to cook with. So one last bit to share just for sentimental value is my coffee mug options. And I do have coffee in the morning, usually tea in the evening. This REI mug has served me for over 30 years. I got it in the mid-'80s. I've taken it camping, backpacking, now moto camping. Has served me incredibly well. I love the fact that it's got actually measuring cups on the sides when I have to measure water. So this thing has been amazing. Doesn't have a lid is the only thing I would say that is maybe something that could have been improved upon. And I found this mug this year by GSI Outdoors, fully insulated, a little bit lighter, and it's got a removable top and a closable sipping lid. With some regret, I've moved on, but this is what I'm using now for my coffee.